I agreed. I signed the forms. My husband said it would prove my loyalty, and for a moment I let myself believe it was a test I could pass quietly. The words, "my kidney," sat in my chest like a heavy stone, but I nodded and smiled anyway. 2 days in advance, and already the hospital smells of antiseptic and tension. The hours moved in a blur of corridors and clipped voices. Paper gowns hung like empty promises, and every form I signed reminded me that autonomy could be reduced to ink on a page. The nurses spoke gently, asking if I understood, if I had questions. I did not answer much. I catalogued the coercion instead, what it had cost, the subtle reshaping of my body to fit someone else's will. Then he arrived, my husband, precise and certain. Behind him, a woman in a red dress, the kind of bright attention that makes everything else dim. My mother-in-law was wheeled forward, diminished and silent, as though presence itself could be suspended. And then he dropped the papers. Divorce. Thin, sharp paper sliding across the tray like a declaration of ownership undone. I did not speak. I did not react. Silence became my shield. The performance of sacrifice was complete in their minds. He believed the kidney was already promised. The mother believed her survival was imminent. Then the doors opened wider. Authority stepped in, unmistakable. A transplant coordinator, calm, precise. A legal officer following behind, clipboard in hand. They asked questions that cut through the room's tense choreography. Had consent been voluntary? Was there evidence of coercion? Could the surgery proceed under these circumstances? My husband stuttered, color rising in his cheeks. He had assumed certainty, the guaranteed leverage of urgency. But in that room, hospital policy spoke louder than his will. I was asked to reaffirm my consent. I did. I said no. And just like that, the surgery was canceled. The transplant window closed. My mother-in-law was removed from the list, pending reassessment. The husband's leverage, the threat of life or death, the supposed debt of loyalty, evaporated. What he thought was inevitable proved contingent on my choice. The red dress left first. The wheelchair turned away. The divorce papers remained. Unnecessary now, relics of a power that had no purchase in this moment. I signed nothing. There was no celebration, no vindictive smile, only a quiet reclamation of what had always belonged to me, my body, my consent. I thought about what the kidney had been worth, not money, not revenge, but weight, legal, ethical, undeniable weight. Control over it was not cruelty, it was self-possession, measured in silence, in patience, rather than spectacle. The edges of life did not smooth themselves out. The marriage was effectively over, though grief lingered, tangled with relief. My mother-in-law's fate was uncertain. And yet, for the first time in years, I walked out of that hospital with my autonomy intact. Discharge papers in hand, the air on my skin felt unfamiliar, as if it were mine to breathe again. My power was quiet, but undeniable. No one else got to decide what I would give. No one.